So today I want to talk about reversibility of time, how to reverse time or an event that has happened. Let's say somebody did something, maybe a current has done something in the past and he wish that he has done it in a particular way or in a different way, different from the initial way he or she has done it in the previous or previously or in the previous year or so not even year any time past, a current has done something and is looking for a way of how to get that call. Sometimes you have done something and you are feeling bad. Oh, this is not the way I ought to have done it, or this is the way I should have done it. So basically, I want to talk about how to reverse, how to. It's just like you want to transverse back to time. You want to go back into time. You want to transverse back into things that you want to reverse time, reversibility of time. So like, it is called reversibility of time, how to reverse time, how to go back into the past. You understand that? So in order to get one or two things corrected. So that can be done with the geomancy. So and that is basically what I want to explain here. So there are different way of reversing time. People use magics, people use charms, people use different sort of things to reverse time. So but here I want to explain how to use geomancy to reverse time, how to go back into the past to get one or two things corrected, things you have done in the past, you want to correct it. You understand that? So that is what reversibility of. That is what I basically want to explain now. So now let me give you some basic understanding prior before delving in further or deeping in further. So now let me first of all explain. Let's see. Don't forget if you are using any chart for anything, it needs to be what a chart with miss. This chart before me here, I didn't check if it is a chart with miss or not because it's for a discussion purpose. So either it has miss or not, that is not the primary purpose here. So now, what I want to point out here is this. Let's say current has come to you to discuss one or two things. So and in that thing the person explained to you, you realize that or the person told you that oh, these are my mistakes that I have done in the past, so I don't know how I can get them corrected or if there's anything he can do about them in order to reverse the time. So now in order to go back into that past, you want to take his or herself into past because that thing that taking yourself into past is based, if apart from you yourself taking yourself walking to the past, sometimes when you have a brighter futures or a brighter destiny, sometimes your antagonists or your enemies can sometimes even do this to you, or you do it to you, that is trying to make you behind your time instead of you being ahead inside the future. Understand? But sometimes instead of you allowing the enemies or whoever, whatever, who doesn't like your something, instead of you allowing them to do, sometimes you yourself, probably you are feeling guilty, or probably you feel like, oh, this thing you want to do, or probably you want to get something from somebody, and you have realized that, oh, if I have done it this way, I could have done it better. Or if I have done it this way, it could have been much more better than the way it eventually is tending toward. Do you understand that? So that is what we are talking about here, how to reverse time. Just like teaching you what the enemies do to others, how to reverse their own time. But in this case, how to reverse, this one is not talking about how to do it for somebody else. This one is talking about how to do it for yourself. How to reverse your own time. Not how to reverse someone's time. Oh, don't get me wrong. Not how to reverse somebody's time. How to reverse your own time. How to take yourself back into the past. You understand? So that is what this one is talking about. So let's say you have casted the chart. Somebody asks your coherent came to ask you question about one or two things. So in that discussion, conversation you are having with your coherent. So still with the same chart, though, the coherent there tell you that, oh, I could have done it. You understand? Don't let me keep on repeating the same thing. So from what he or she has said, so she want to try to go back to the past or reverse the time into the or by moving into the past. So now, how do you do that? So that at least let's move a bit forward. How do you do that? Now, before you even start anything, after the child has been casted, ask the querent the event that happened that he was not pleased with, that he is not good with, that he want to reverse, that he doesn't want it to happen that way again. He want to make some correction. He want to adjust it. That is querent going into that past, walking to that past and adjust it. You understand? So now what you will do is that, well, ask that query, that event, the way it happens, exactly the way it happens, can he or she narrate the way it happens, including every garden details that happen, everything, including smallest details, biggest detail. Can he or she remember that details? If he can remember that details, then that means what, he has been granted the key, the opportunity, the right to go into that past that he want to walk into. But if he or she cannot remember every details of that day, the past that he want to correct, that means access denied. I'm not sure if you are getting the point. It means to access denied. You can't go into that past. But if he or she lied to you that way, he can remember just because he wanted to help him or her, he now lied to you, blah blah blah, like that. He want to get forgotten to the past without getting into the future. So this thing look like it was a very delicate something. First of all, the querent needs to be very detailful about what he or she the past that he want to go back to. Otherwise, it might get lost. Just like you want to travel to somewhere you don't know, you need to first of all ask one or two people about the place. Or if you get to a place where you don't know, you need to ask people. Do you understand that? So you need to know where you are going. So that past that you want to migrate to, or you want to travel down to, or you want to go and collect something in it. So as a geomancer or as a diviner, you first of all ask the query, can he or she remember what happened that day or that period that what happened, everything. If he or she can remember all those events that happened that day or during that period or during that time, it could be a day. Maybe something happened maybe last week Sunday or last week Monday or last week Tuesday. So you want to go back to that Tuesday. We're already in another week. So you want to go back. So if it is a specific day, you have to remember what happened on that particular day you are talking about all through. And if it's a week you want to move on to, you have to remember everything that happened in that week. If it's a month you want to remember, you have to ask the querent, can he or she remember everything that happened that month? Every garden details that happen without missing anything out. If it's a year they want to correct, you ask. So it now depends on the period, the time that the querent want to transverse into, that the querent want to move into. So once the querent can remember all those, that means has been granted the right and opportunity to at least a grant to move on. But if he or she can't, it means that access denied. It's usually better to go down there. And if query, I'm repeating this because it is more delicate than you think it is. As simple as what I want to explain is more delicate than it is. It is not. We are not meant to be moving to the past. We are meant to be moving forward. Moving forward is what we are. And so moving backward is like you want to do one or two things at least. So don't let me prolong that. So it is backward you want to go, it is a dangerous something. It's just like you stand instead of it to be walking forward, you are not using your leg to be moving backward. You know that if you are not careful, you may enter into gutter. You are using leg to move backward, or maybe you are driving and you are reversing. You know that if you are not careful, you might land yourself into trouble. But if you are moving forward, you are walking forward, or you are driving forward, you know that one is more easy. So we are not meant to be traversing, or we are not meant to be moving backward. But at times in life we just want to move to the past to do something. Just like at times when you are driving, you just find a reason to try to reverse before you move forward. Maybe you want to drive into a corner or drive somewhere, you just find a reason that before you can do this, you need to reverse your car. Or do you understand that? Sometimes you will be on a queue, or you'll be on among a crowd. You want to go to forward, you know that, let me pass through the back because I cannot pass. So it sometimes happens that we find much more reason why we want to move into the past, not to get one or two things corrected. Let's say you are going to somewhere and you need some requirement, or you need some document in order to get to that place, and you have gotten to you almost got to the place. In fact, maybe you are just a mile away from that place. You now remember what you need. Won't you go back to go and bring that thing? You will need to go back. Even if you will not meet up with that day, maybe you need to go back and come back the next day. You understand? That is one of the reasons why we sometimes need to transverse. The way it happens in reality, the way it happens that you are driving backward, move forward, or you got something, you have done something wrong, or you do not bring necessary document you are supposed to bring, you have to go back. That same thing is happening. It's also happening in spirituality. You transverse to go and get one or two things corrected before you then move forward in life, because you have done. This one usually happen to people who have done something bad in the past. You understand? Or not necessarily something with somebody with not always somebody who has done something evil in the past. Sometimes it is those things you want to correct was out of ignorance or out of mistake or out of because you don't know that this is the way you are supposed to do it. So you now make that mistakes. You understand? So you now realize, oh, this is the way I'm supposed to do it. But mostly what usually happens, this one I want to explain to you, usually what happens to people who have done evil, people usually do evil, and they have now realized their mistake, they want to correct it, they don't want to get to, you understand, they don't want that past to be walking after them. Sorry, behind them, so that to be punishing them or something. They want to reverse, correct everything. But sometimes it's not as if it's not only that they have done evil. Sometimes because they don't know, or it is out of ignorance, or one or two things has happened to get something wrong somewhere. So they want to transverse. You understand that? Now I'm patiently explaining this so that because this thing you want to walk into the past, it has some consequence that if you are not careful, it can harm you or do you something evil. Because you want to throw yourself into darkness. Light is front, back is dark. Because you are not seeing your back. You understand? But, so you have to be careful in this thing I'm talking. That's why you see me repeating one or two things again. So now so after querent have explained, after access has been granted, not access denied. Access granted is if querent can remember every granted details he or she that happened during that period you want to transverse to. Once access has been granted, that is, the person can do it. Now, the next thing is this. The next thing is this. One of the things that querent must remember is time and date. Time and date. If the person cannot remember time, he must remember date. But if he can remember the two, it's much more better. It means that the operation will be much more smooth. But if the person can remember only the day, sometimes we can forget time because we don't always look at time. But we can always sometimes we will remember day now. Something happened last week Sunday. If you can remember the date, maybe it happened on the 20 something. Something in fact, but I remember that it happened on Sunday. It is easy. But you might not easily remember the exact time. Maybe it is 7 o'clock or 7:30 something or 7 whatever. You might not remember that. You understand that? But if Korean cannot remember those ones are still ignorable, or you can still minute that, you can still ignore that. You understand? But if the one who can, so remembering those things is telling you how smooth the operation will be. That path you want to walk into, how it will be easy for you or not. That's one of the reasons. Number one, remembering those details automatically guarantee the access. Now, how detailful your explanation is then determines how smooth the operation will be. Because if you miss any step there, you might find yourself in another trouble or in another cycle of darkness. You understand that? So now, so if the person remember the detail, remember the day that things happen. Now, this is what will happen. So let's say the day it happens, let's say it was on Saturday. I just give an example. Let's say the day that thing you want to correct was on Saturday, and you already checked the date of that Saturday. You already check, maybe it's on the 24th. Maybe Saturday of that time was 24. So you write it down that 24. Now, let's say it happens on maybe by 8:45. You write it down. You understand? But now, what you need here is this. That day 24, you then go into the calendar. Go into the calendar. Look for which of the days, either that same month or next month or third, which of the month has 24 that fall on Saturday. Which of the month is 24? Which of the month on the calendar has 24 that fall on? The one he did was on the 24th of, maybe let's say this month. I'm just giving an example. Let's say the time we want to correct happened this month. It could be any month, it could be any year, it could be maybe any year back. You understand? But I know I'm giving an example so that you understand. Let's say what happened was on Saturday, on the 24th of this month. So now what you then do is that, well, look at that same calendar. Which one? Well, of course, we cannot have 24 on same month. That means you are looking at it next month. That means you are looking towards next month or subsequent month. So you look at which of the subsequent month has 24 on it that fall on Saturday. So after you have gotten it, could, in fact, you may look at the old calendar of that year. You might not see 24. It could be the next year. Which means that, well, if you cannot find it this year, that means that, well, you cannot traverse that year. You cannot traverse that year. You cannot get that thing corrected that year. But if you can find it on that calendar, it means if in that year calendar or in the subsequent month calendar, it means that, well, that thing you want to do can be done that year. So if it is not done, if it's not done, it means that you have to wait. That is why sometimes event in reality, let me bring that event that happened today. If there is a need for correction for it, and sometimes you feel like you are facing some problem, you are facing complication. Sometimes the problem, the obstacle you are facing is your past that is affecting, that is fighting with you because it needs you to collect it. Do you understand? So I'm telling you now how to get those things. So now back again. So once it that time now come in, that time, that 24 that fall on that Saturday. I just an example. It could be it's not only Saturday. The day he want to collect was Saturday. What date was that Saturday? 24. I just cited it. It could be any date, it could be it could be on any month, it could be anything. You understand that? So, but the next thing is to do what? Well, look for which day, which of the days fall, which of the month has 24. Of course, every month, every subsequent month we have 24. But which 24 fall on Saturday? So once you have gotten that, you write it down. Now let's say querent then remember time. If querent don't remember the time, you will skip this part. But if you remember it, make it much better. You understand? But the more detail the querent was able to provide, the much more better it is. This video is getting too long. I never knew it to be this long. Maybe I will do another video to to conclude it. But let me still talk this further a bit. Because so what I was saying. So I was saying something. So you look for another day that fall on 24, which is Saturday. Okay, I've said that. So the next one is now look for time. Now, to do this is as simple as this. Once you are able to catch up with this time and you have access has been granted, number one, two, you have been able to know the time it happened. That is number two. And what again? So time. So let me proceed. So now this is now what will happen. That thing that you want to happen, that you want to do. That 24th day, that 24th, everything that you explain that these are what I do, you will then repeat them. You carry those action, every action you took, every step you took that day, that last Saturday, you begin to act them. If at so time you were playing, if at this so time you were doing this, all those the way the court or the law usually question you that if they want to catch you, they will say at this so day you do this, you will not be able to deny it, isn't it? If a court want to prove a point and you are lying, they begin to tell you at so time you do this, at so day you do this, then you have no reason, especially when they have your footprint. Now you having those details of what you did on that 24, you have already gotten your own footprint, you have already gotten your own footage. You then replay them, those roads, the way you did it, everything. Now, but the one you will not do is the one you felt like, well, this is not the way I'm supposed to do it. Let me give an example. Let's say what you wanted to correct that one, you went to a market and on your way to the market, you step on and maybe a spiritual something and it's affecting your leg. I just want to give you an example and it's affecting your leg. So you now want to correct. You don't want to step on that thing again. You want to go to that same market and you don't want to step in. So once you have gotten those details, it means that, well, I go to this market. I left my home at this particular time. That was the time I was going to that market. So it is that same time you take, but you will not pass that place you pass. Let's say you walk through a road called Road B, but you don't forget this market you are going. So you want to correct, you will not pass Road B, sorry, Road A to get to that market. You will pass Road B. You understand? So you have corrected that thing, that road, that play problem. Let's say, but you are going to that same market, not another market. Let me give another example. Let's say uh, let me give another closer example you can easily understand. Let's say you slapped somebody on the 24th Saturday of 24, and that slap you slap the person. The person now go and do something evil, and the evil now catch you just because you slapped the person wrongly. The evil now catch you, and you have done a lot of charms, lot of medicine for that. Maybe you slap somebody and your hand now swell up the next day. So maybe you are maybe in a divination, they now tell you that what is that person you slap that caused your hand to swell up. So you now go to that place to beg the person you cannot be is not accepting your pleading. Or let's say the person that you want to go and beg is dead. There's no way you can beg the person again. And it's only when you beg that person that you can that pain you are feeling will go. And the person is dead, nothing you can do again. So that is another one of the situations you can transverse the time. So that same thing, what that happened, that things that happen, you will not lie. You if you lie, that is sabi. So you will not. So you will then reverse. So that event that happened, you will see it almost happening that day. That event that happened, you will see it almost happening that day. But let me give you a more practical something. Let's say the person is still alive and you have begged the person is not going. So because sometimes people usually do this by creating an effigy. They will mold there's what we call, effigy now, all these all those things that they usually mold in form of human being, they will carve in form of human being. So because they know that that person is no longer alive again, they will not create the person image of that person. So they will not, you create the image of that thing you want to, that human being that is no longer alive. So when you now get to that junction, that event happen where you slap the person. So what did you tell the person that make the person get angry? You will tell that effigy, that thing you craft. So you dress in a way that has hand. So the person will not do that same thing that got you angry. So you now do as if you want to slap the person. You now withdraw, you now slap. So you have corrected it that way. If there's anything that is happening in your life that is causing problem, that thing will stop. That thing will gradually stop. You understand? But you don't transverse into time. Let me not get it because I want to crack on it. You don't do this thing that I just explained to you. Why? As this transverse you want to do, don't do it except you have money during this period that you want to do it. That is why sometimes it is good when that day you pick is far ahead. You have to start make sure that when you start saving. The reason is that anybody trying to transverse into time, event reality, maybe he's into business or work, everything will slow down for him. Business will not come on time, work will not come on time, money will not come on time because you are in the past. So you don't transverse into time when you don't have, just make sure you have enough money to save. At least during that period, you'll be. That is why sometimes when you use some charms or some this thing, you just find that money is not in your hand because something's already happened that you don't know. So when you're doing some spiritual something, some money, you just feel like you don't have money at that period of time because you don't know what is happening. So one of the consequences of this transversality of time is that you don't do it when you don't have money. Not because you want to use that money to do something. You want to spend it for yourself. You understand, ba? So you have to go through that period, pass through it. So that is why sometimes when you see some people in problem, they are in the past, they are in darkness. You see that, I don't have money, their money is lacking, this and that. They are living in the past. Do you understand that? So, but not everybody having problems that are living in problem, that are living in the past. Though that is not what I'm saying. No. But for some people, the reason why they are lacking, or the reason why they are having problem, or the reason why there is no money with them, is because they are still living in the past. They are far behind. You understand? And that's why some people will say that, they are using my destiny, they are using this, and that. That is when you say somebody is using somebody's destiny. That means they have told the person, because destiny cannot be. According to Yoruba proverb, they will say that you cannot change your destiny, but you can draw the person back. That is what usually happen. You understand? Ba? So so when you realize that like somebody now, let me say somebody not, maybe because you have little argument, or somebody that you are not supposed to slap. I'm just, it's not a slap case. I'm just using that as an example. Let's say you are not supposed, you not slap the person wrong, and you are the one that you are the one that is at fault, and that is not, it's not affecting you. It may take you back. The thing will be drawing back that, go and beg this person. You have offended this person. Go and beg them. But you are refusing to beg them. Oh, I will not beg them. I will not beg. You will always find yourself at the back because your back will still be holding you back. until you correct it. So if the person is still alive, instead of you taking all your time to go and be doing all this one I'm talking, just go and beg the person and let life continue. But if the person is not alive, now you have to do this. This is one of the things you need to do. Not only this is not the only way. People use chants, people use some other, people use prayers as well to transverse into the past. They are this thing, but it's not everybody that knows the right time, because there are times there are people who just give you unnecessary things. But this is one of the surest way to do it. Just make sure that you remember those details. But this one has a consequence. What is the consequence? Have money before you do it. But because you don't have money during that time that you'll be doing it, you will not have money. Business will slow. Everything, even if you have money, but the money, even let's say somebody that is very, very, let me give an example, somebody that is very, very rich before. Let's say you are very, very rich before. Not that you will not be rich again, not that you will not be rich again, but the rate at which you will make money at that time will be slow. You understand, ba? So let's say somebody that is not rich at all, that does not have money, that is struggling, and you want to do this, you only want to. That's why sometimes when somebody is in problem, tell the person, leave the problem you are facing. First of all, go and look for how to know how to make money, regardless of how small it is. If it is small penny, be having them. If somebody is, you see some people, they're having problems. The reason why they have not left their problems is because they don't have money. There are things they can do for them, but they don't have money. Nobody want to help anybody when the person is not having money. It's only when you have money, people will be eager to help you. And there's no way, no matter how your country or situation is, you always see something little. It's only that you just don't want to do it because you feel like the money is too small. No, forgetting that, well, that one you call small, by the time you begin to save them little by little, endure, it will later be better than not doing anything at all. Just assume that, oh, when will I get this bigger one you are looking at? You will always stay longer there. You understand, ba? So basically what I'm saying is this one. That is the basic thing. So, but if there's any question or anything you don't understand, you can always ask Anne. Because I know, because of the, I don't want these videos to be too long. That's why I'm rushing some things, and there are some things I skip, believing that, well, maybe when you ask question, maybe explanation will then go further in order to explain them much more better. But I've given you one of the things, basic things to know on how to do it, which I believe that, well, if you patiently listen and try to reason along with what I'm saying, you will understand it much better. Another thing is this. I've also tell you one of the greatest consequence of it, which is what, don't do it when you don't have money, because you only put yourself you put yourself in another problem. You put yourself in another problem. You understand? But so let me even add this. Let's say you check one that is start like example we're using 24. You now find another one. That first one, the one that's closer to you, may not do it that time, but probably you don't have money at that time. You can look for another one so that you can correct it. This one will cost you anything. You don't need to go and look for one babalawo or one something before you get. You can get yourself. You can adjust your life, make amendment, retrace yourself. You retrace your step and get one or two things corrected. So I hope you have understood one or two things. Thank you very much. May God bless you. When you subscribe to my YouTube channel, that means whenever I make a new post, you can easily be one of the people that will quickly have the opportunity to watch it. And when you share my video, you are encouraging me to do more. So thank you very much. May God bless you.